The Last of Us, episode 6 is finally here, y'all.
Yeah.
Jovi and I are now. Jovi just saw it. I saw
Yeah.
it a few hours ago, so it's still fresh in our heads. Yeah, man, let's get right into this, bro. So this one actually is 3 months after
Yeah.
the previous episode with when they left Henry. And it's
I think
wintertime now.
they've been doing a good, like, job with time
Oh yeah, yeah.
because in reality, you're not going across the country in
Oh, yeah, in
in
like a week or something,
in a
right?
week.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah.
I feel you. So,
It's
yeah, so, it hit. And, like, when I saw them so, the episode begins, they meet a couple, they're like, "Where are we?" They don't really know where they are, getting their bearings, whatever. Then they walk, a little ways away and, they go to home base, Jackson,
Mhm. Yep.
where we end up in, Last of Us or we end up back basically, and it's our home base in Last of Us 2.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so, we
Did a
go,
good
we
job of
see
bringing that to life.
yeah. We go, we see there's this little community. Uh and it's funny. They're like, yeah, we're a commune and it works like communism. Like it was funny.
Yeah.
Socialism at its best. But he sees his brother finally, who's one of the I guess he's married to one of the council members
Mhm.
of this town of this yeah, this town of 300 people. And they're sitting there, they're thriving. They have running water, they have electricity, all this good stuff. And Joel is basically like, bro, like what's going on? Where you been or whatever? You know what I mean? Um, which that moment, I thought like, we've seen Joel be, the hard dude this whole time, but I loved how in this episode when he sees his brother, he kind of just he softens up a lot,
Mhm.
like a whole lot. Like as soon as he sees him, he's crying and hugging him. When he a scene I want to talk about a little later when he's talking about, plans for Ellie. That I think was probably the best scene of the episode. But
Oh, man. Yeah. That's some good acting.
yeah, man, seriously. But I mean, um, let me pause. Let me get what did you think of this whole episode? Or what do you
I
think, I guess, what were your highlights of this episode? Let me get your
um, I really like that they actually built a town for Jackson, um, to give you that feel of, yeah, this is civilization, right? Um, we haven't really seen that. It's like you you think like even with the last city we were in, even being taken over, like it still looks like a wasteland, right?
Oh well, yeah, Kansas City. Yep, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and it's like, but you finally get here. This is 3 months later, and there's a whole community in the middle of nowhere.
Hmm. And that keeps
That
you
was
safe
really
in the
cool.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Um, and like they're surviving.
Yeah,
They're
man.
surviving. It's a regular place. Then as soon as I saw it, like I immediately thought about the second game
Yeah, me
and
too,
how
man.
like everybody works
Hmm.
and you work and you do what you do, and then the community is just still thriving. Like that idea that that's when they saw it, but Ellie's way older and Joel's way older.
At least
And
it
it's
sounds
like
like it. Yeah.
they're still thriving. That was a cool aspect. And then all the like the dialogue. It was just
Yeah,
like
this was a
even
dialogue heavy
conversation.
episode, bro. There wasn't a lot of action. Actually, I
Yeah,
don't I don't know if there was any. I mean, at the beginning it was very tense
right.
when the Jackson people first meet Ellie and Joel and then
That's it.
dog sniffing them. Like
Yeah.
there's
And
a
somebody
moment
gets
like,
choked out in this episode. That's it. That's like the two big scenes.
say that again?
I said, and somebody gets choked out. Like that's
Oh
it.
yeah, I forgot the very end there is a little action, yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, but this was very dialogue based, and like even the conversation with Maria, like basically, watch the people that you actually trust. It's
Yeah. So
that's
yeah, you know what? Let's get in. So some of the conversations. So Maria, when she's talking to Ellie, and Ellie's basically, not being, I guess, not being polite.
yeah,
I guess is the
like at
word.
all. Yeah,
Maria's like, okay, I got you. She's like, I used to be a lawyer. You'd make a good lawyer. And she's like, you got to be careful who you trust because you can only be betrayed by the people you trust.
right.
So she understood it. I love that. And again, I loved Ellie and Joel. Seeing them like come together even more. I know we say this almost every week, but like
Yeah,
the whole father daughter thing
yeah,
really hit this episode, especially when Joel. you notice when he went to Jackson, he saw that girl who looked like his daughter from behind,
Yeah, that
and
was
you just saw the
intense.
emotion wash over his face. You
Yeah,
know,
like having a whole panic attack.
yeah, man, and yeah, he was having panic attacks this episode, like
Yeah.
multiple, and I think that kind of stemmed like what I think was one of the best scenes when he finally meets up with Tommy.
Hmm.
And at first, of course, he's mad. He's like, "Bro, like you could have told me, like where you were, so I didn't have to come hunting for you and think you were dead or whatever."
Right.
But once
Right.
which I agree with, I think Tommy was really messed up for that. But once they squash that, he just goes, "Yo, you got to be the one to take Ellie." And he's like, "Look, we were in Kansas City. She had to kill someone for me
Yeah.
because
A
I couldn't
14
hear
year
him
old.
coming. Right? He's like 5 years
14
ago, I'd
year
have
old.
destroyed him, but I'm old and Tommy's like, yeah, he's like, it's an easy route. You'll go straight there, you'll be fine. And Joel's just like, nah, I'm not gonna be fine. And I think like what's the actress? Pedro Pascal, the way he portrayed it, like he legit looked like he thought if he went, they weren't going to make it.
Right.
Like,
I,
and that
I
was great. Like, and again, I think that was the whole catalyst. Like, he had a lot of worry this episode. Like we mentioned earlier, like when they first came, when the people from Jackson first saw Joel and Ellie, remember they had the dog sniffing them,
oh yeah.
and the dog's about to sniff Ellie, and Joel is just sitting there frozen. He's not
Yeah,
going to do anything.
he's like, this is it.
You know, right? Like,
All this and this is it. Like that. He just accepted it.
yeah, man. And I don't think we've seen him be this vulnerable yet.
Right.
And I think it's characters have arcs, so I really like that. We're at this part of his arc where it's we've seen him just be the terrifying juggernaut. And
Mhm.
now it's like, y'all, like I think he's realizing now he has something he can lose that he cares about, and that's his vulnerability. And
Yeah.
I think this episode, again, like you said with the dialogue, it really hit home for me, man. I was feeling it. I was really feeling. I was feeling for him. I was feeling his fear.
Oh man, yeah. Like the conversation with his brother, the conversation with Tommy, and then like the conversation he had with Ellie. Both of those scenes were like you're showing your love for her,
Hmm.
um, and she's like everybody leaves me, and it's like, but I need to leave you because I do love you. You know, like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And, like I care that much, and I've been traveling. Like he's building that relation. That's what makes the story so dope
yeah,
because
man.
he
And
loses
again,
his daughter in the beginning,
yeah.
and he gets a daughter that gets dropped in his freaking hands after he's become this monster
After they
to
both try to
survive.
deny it too, like
Yeah,
he's like, I'm not your father. She's like, you're not my dad. I'm not your daughter. He's like, yeah, you're not my daughter. Let's go our separate ways or whatever.
right.
That's not gonna last. And something that hits me, you see this relationship, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but that's why I don't like the second game. Without getting into too many spoilers, bro, like the way they handle the relationship in the second game, I guess you could kind of say the relationship is the basis for the entire thing that happens, but
Yeah,
like at the it's just hard for me to see how they kind of like drifted the way they did.
yeah. Oh man, I mean, we haven't even got as deep as it gets yet. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah,
they experience way more and then experience something very, very serious.
yeah, man. So,
That
but back to the episode. Yeah, I just like I said, the dialogue, all of it was good. Him and his brother, him and Ellie. Seeing even him and his brother basically, or his brother basically saying, "Look, I'm building a new family here. I'm good. He just wants to live his life.
right.
Get back to some sense of normalcy, of some sense of normal." Um, and I mean, he lashed out at Joel when I guess he thought Joel was trying to take that from him. um, but yeah, man, I think it's the realness of this episode of this show that gets me, man.
No, yeah. I was talking to with Matt about it, and I was like, he and his wife watched I think the first episode because he hasn't finished the first game yet, and so he's like playing the game and then he's watching the show, playing the game and he's watching the show. Like he's just getting through it very slowly. And I was like, man, you can knock this out in a weekend. But I said this is the closest thing that you're going to get to like a real feeling of what this apocalypse would be after an infection. Because you're not supposed I found out we're not supposed to call them zombies. They're the infected. They're
Oh
not
yeah,
zombies.
they're not.
They're the infected.
Yep.
So like what life would be like after the infected take over.
Yeah, man.
This is way more real. I finished The Walking Dead today too,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
finishing that was like, oh my
It's a
gosh,
chore. It's
this
not.
was
It's not.
not this comparatively, like the story wise. I'm like, I don't see this game. This show can't be 10 seasons
Right.
because there's no more. Unless they write their own story after,
Nah, they're not gonna do that, bro.
which would
Like, yeah,
be
The Walking Dead.
horrible.
It's a classic example of a show going on too long.
Yeah,
That's what happened with it.
that it was what 11 seasons
I think so. There were
and
10. No, no,
10,
I don't know. I stopped counting. But
yeah, and that was watching that last episode or like that last arc. I'm like comparing it. It's like the writing and everything. It's just would not be that. Like
yeah,
it's uncomparable, man.
not. I agree. Totally agree.
And this just the idea, just like how zombies work and how infected work and all that. And it's like,
Yeah, the thought that went into it.
yeah,
Like I don't even like in Walking Dead. I don't even think they talked about how this happened. So yeah, this one, like I mean, yeah, the showrunners got to give them their flowers every episode.
right.
One thing I will say, so you know how it was snowing in the game. I don't know if you remember this. The snow is where you have Ellie's solo mission, which I think is one of the creepiest but best parts of the game because of what she does and who she meets.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think they did this out of order in this episode. I actually have to check. I don't think they made it to Jackson before that happened. So I think like the snow mission happened, then they made it to Jackson, but in the game. But at the end of this episode, the way like you texted me, it ends like that.
Yeah.
Like yeah, Joel is hurt, and that's why like Joel gets hurt, and that's why you take over as
She
Ellie
take
in
over
the game.
as Ellie. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. Well, next episode I think is a flashback, but they want to get some Ellie heavy episodes coming because
Right.
she has to do her solo mission where she's where Joel's out of commission and she goes and does her thing and who she runs into and so good.
Yeah.
I legit can't wait.
Yeah. 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 Like I knew it was coming, right? But I didn't think they haven't really ended on a cliffhanger.
Mm,
Like,
oh, I guess not. I guess that's true.
yeah, like that
Oh
one was.
no, the one I'd say the one with Henry was a cliffhanger when he was pointing the gun at them in their sleep.
Oh, yeah. I guess. Yeah.
But
But
this
then
one,
it's like watching this, and then even when Joel fell, I was like, well, he's not going to die.
well, yeah, he's not going to
Yeah.
die.
That's,
This episode, too much season left.
yeah. I was like, I'm like, hold on, what episode are we on? Are they going to try to change something? No, this happens. And then she puts him on the horse, and then like they go, and then you take over as her.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that. I don't remember the mission that the joint she was talking. I gotta go. I'm gonna go find
Oh
it.
yeah, her mission was.
I'm
So
trying to
I mean, I
remember.
think at first it's just she's getting supplies, but
Yeah,
she I don't want to give too many spoilers, but it's just who she runs into. Like I just remembered the
yeah,
snow. That's why I remembered her mission because it was in the snow. So
and the snow. Yeah,
it was dope, man. But I mean, yeah, another solid entry. I don't think there's been an episode I've disliked yet, and we're
no,
over
not
halfway
at
there.
all.
So
It's
yeah,
showing
bro.
that it's showing that somebody doesn't have to get bit and die every episode.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Um, even though we're going off of the game and like things are a little but they're doing this all for reasons, like just story, like they're driving the story a little better.
I don't. Yeah, very much so, man. So
Because it's like the game you play part of it's like you can't play if you're not playing those gaps, you're showing us those gaps.
yeah, bro.
So I'm loving it.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like,
Me too.
again, like the idea of them going to Jackson and like you seeing the sheep, and then you think of like the second game, and like all like these are scenes that are these
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
they're like, no, we're getting a second season, so we're putting all of this in here.
Well, yeah, man.
The house,
You'll
that's
get me
literally the
spoilers.
house that they live in.
Yep.
Like, and she ends up living in with the garage.
Hmm. I remember,
Like
man.
all that stuff is like I was like, okay, this is cool. Like
Oh yeah,
that
like
made
yeah, that's what you were
me
saying early
hype.
on. The details.
Yeah. Like that made me hype for like, all right, in 2 years we're gonna get another season and it's gonna be dope.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah. So I mean, episode 6. Like I said, wasn't action heavy, but the dialogue really did it, y'all. And yeah, another solid entry. But you know, like we always say, bro, what did y'all think about this episode? Let us know. Right in the comments, yo. Me and Joey, we read every single one. We love talking to them. But thank you so much for listening to our, I guess, our Last of Us discussion. Come back next week and we talk about episode 7. And until then, we out.
Deuces.